The garden was a sanctuary of vibrant life, nestled just beyond the castle's grand arches. Sunlight filtered through the branches of ancient trees, casting a gentle dappled light across the stone path lined with blooming flowers. Birds sang from the treetops, their melodies mingling with the soft murmur of water cascading from the nearby fountain. Leon took in the serene scene with a smile as he spotted Myun sitting near a bed of colorful roses, focused on her drawing. She hummed softly, her little head bent over a piece of paper. Her tiny fingers gripped a colored pencil, moving with a careful concentration that made Leon's heart swell. Myun's tune was simple and sweet, carrying a sense of innocence that warmed Leon's heart. He watched her with a soft smile, feeling a warmth spread through him that was deeper than pride. It was love, a father's love. It's good to have a daughter, he thought, sighing with contentment. It feels like my soul is healed just being near her. The joys of fatherhood, he mused, were something he never fully understood until Myun came into his life. Before long, she looked up, catching sight of him watching her, and her face broke into a cheerful grin. She jumped to her feet and dashed over, holding her drawing proudly. "Dad! Dad!" she called, her voice bright with excitement. "Look." Myun drew a family portrait. Leon chuckled, taking the drawing from her small hands. He inspected it with a father's proud gaze. The picture was a charming array of colorful stick figures, drawn with all the earnestness of a child's love. He felt a surge of pride. Myun is awesome," he declared, nodding approvingly. "She's definitely her daddy's daughter." But his smile faltered slightly as his eyes caught a small detail. There were two small figures standing by the parent figures. He raised an eyebrow, looking at Myun in confusion. "Wait, Myun, why are there two kids here?" he asked, thinking she might have made a mistake. Myun's face lit up as she pointed enthusiastically at the drawing. "That's my sister," she announced, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Leon blinked, stunned into silence. Myun has a sister? His mind raced, and he could almost feel his thoughts scrambling for an answer. So it turns out I didn't just hit the target once, but twice with a single shot? His expression turned to one of bemusement as he recalled a fleeting moment earlier that day. In the garden, he had noticed another child in the distance, but had dismissed it as Myun. "The child I saw in the garden," he thought, feeling a pang of regret. "I must have called her by the wrong name. No wonder she looked so cross." Lost in thought, he barely noticed Myun's serious expression as she continued, her voice earnest. "Sister isn't angry, Dad," Myun assured him with a nod. "She's just a little shy when she sees you." Leon felt a tug of sympathy. "Indeed, we haven't met each other much," he mused aloud, softening as he considered what he'd missed. "It's only natural that we're not familiar with each other." But a part of him couldn't shake a lingering frustration. "It's all the Dragon Queen's doing, hiding this child from me," he thought, his expression hardening. "I'll have to confront her for the truth." In the study. The door to Weiss' study swung open with a bang, and Leon stormed in, his eyes blazing. The room was dimly lit, the scent of ink and ancient parchment heavy in the air. A small silver dragon, perched on the edge of Weiss' desk, gave a startled squawk. "Weiss." Leon's voice was a mixture of accusation and exasperation. Weiss, seated at her desk, looked up with calm, cool eyes. "Where's Myun?" she asked, not missing a beat. Leon crossed his arms, his brow furrowing. "She's out playing with her sister," he replied, his tone edged with accusation. "You're really something, hiding things from me. When were you planning on telling me that I have an older daughter?" Weiss smiled faintly, a glint of amusement in her eyes. "Haven't you already figured it out by now?" Leon let out a sarcastic chuckle. "Well, I have to thank you. Giving birth to a child is no small feat. I didn't expect you'd gone through all that trouble not once, but twice on my behalf." He shook his head, his tone carrying a hint of mock indignation. "When I return to the Empire someday, I'll make sure your name is inscribed on the family tree for this sacrifice." Weiss' gaze sharpened, her voice taking on a note of suspicion. "Do you even understand why I didn't tell you about my eldest daughter?" Leon straightened, returning her gaze with a hint of defiance. "Why? I'm guessing you were jealous of my closeness to Myun, so you decided not to let Noah meet me." Weiss tilted her head, studying him with a bemused smile. "Are you that eager to see her?" "Nonsense," Leon replied, a faint blush creeping onto his cheeks. "What father wouldn't want to meet his own daughter? Unlike you, a cold and stern mother, I actually want to build a relationship with her." Weiss smirked, reclining slightly as she rested her chin on her hand, her expression revealing nothing but mystery. Very well, then. But don't say I didn't warn you. In the kitchen. The kitchen was alive with the warm scents of simmering stew and searing meat, a cozy contrast to the grandeur of the castle. Leon, his laughter filling the room, playfully wielded a knife as he prepared a meal for his daughters. Hee Weiss, he chuckled, the mere act of cooking lifting his spirits. I'm going to make you look good today, he declared with determination, his heart swelling with the hope of forging a closer bond with his eldest daughter Noah. Open her stomach with delicious food, he mused, envisioning the joyful expressions on both Myun and Noah's faces as they savored his culinary creation. It was a father's instinct, a belief that nourishing his children would draw them closer together. As he stirred the pot, memories flooded back. I used to make this cream stew often for my team. Everyone who tasted it said it was good. The sweet taste is also suitable for children, he reflected, recalling how he had shared many meals filled with laughter and camaraderie. He took a careful taste of the soup, savoring the flavors. Not bad. My cooking skills are not rusty, he said, pleased with his progress. His mind raced with anticipation. This taste will definitely win Noah over. Noah loves the food her dad cooks the most. The thought filled him with warmth, igniting a hope that maybe, just maybe, this meal could bridge the gap between them. In the corner of the kitchen, two maids exchanged glances. The prince has just recovered from a serious illness, and he still cooks for his family, one remarked, her voice filled with admiration. He is really a good male dragon who cares about his family. Just then, another maid noticed Weiss entering the kitchen. Her Majesty, she exclaimed, stepping back respectfully. Weiss glanced around, her presence commanding attention. You don't have to wait for orders at dinner tonight. Go and have a rest, she instructed, her voice softening as she dismissed the maids. Thank you, Her Majesty, the maids responded, bowing deeply before slipping out of the room, leaving Leon and Weiss alone amidst the clatter of pots and the bubbling of stew. Leon turned to Weiss, a hopeful smile on his face. You guys came just in time. Suddenly, Myun burst into the kitchen, her eyes bright with excitement. Dad. What a nice smell. With joy radiating from him, Leon replied, I heard that you two love meat the most, so I made stew and steak especially for you. The pride in his voice was palpable, a father's desire to please his children shining through. Noah, do you feel your father's feelings? He wondered, glancing at Noah, who stood quietly to the side, her expression inscrutable. To his surprise, she was not even looking at him. Why is it different from what I thought? Leon's heart sank slightly. This female dragon had anticipated this situation, so she had not allowed me to meet Noah. Weiss, sensing the tension, gently pushed Noah forward. This is your first formal meeting. Please introduce yourselves, she encouraged, her tone both nurturing and commanding. Yes, mother, Noah replied flatly, her voice lacking any warmth. She looked up just long enough to state, I am Noah K. Melkv, the eldest daughter of the Silver Dragon Queen Weiss. I am 1 year and 2 months old. Leon felt a flicker of admiration mixed with disappointment. Dragons are an immortal race, and baby dragons grow faster than human children, he reminded himself, his heart heavy with the challenge ahead. Extending his hand, Leon greeted her. Hello, Noah. My name is Leon Cosmode, and I'm your father. The second step for Leon to get closer to his eldest daughter, say hello politely and leave a good impression, he thought, hope swelling in his chest. But Noah didn't even react to his gesture, her gaze slipping back to the floor as if he were invisible. Why is this child so cold? Does she have a grudge against me? He pondered, feeling a tightening in his chest as disappointment washed over him. Myun, ever the supportive sister, leaned in and whispered to Noah, Sister, please talk more. Don't embarrass Dad. But he looks so weak, Noah replied, her voice laced with doubt. Is he really our father? Leon felt his heart shatter at her words. What a filial daughter, he thought, sorrow flooding through him. It was a painful reminder of the distance that had grown between them, a chasm he had not yet crossed. As he stood there, Leon's mind whirled with emotions. He felt vulnerable, exposed in a way he had never anticipated. Leon's career as a father faces its first crisis, he recognized, understanding that building a relationship with Noah would not be as simple as he had imagined. Determined not to give in to despair, he recalled how relationships were often tested by trials and misunderstandings. I will not let this moment define our future, he vowed silently. There had to be a way to reach her, to show her the love he held in his heart, even if she could not see it yet. As the aroma of the cooking stew filled the kitchen, he took a deep breath and prepared to engage with his daughters. He needed to find a way to break through Noah's barriers, to reassure her that he was there for her, ready to be the father she needed. The path ahead was uncertain, but Leon knew that love, in all its forms, could heal even the deepest wounds. He was ready to fight for his family, no matter how long it took.